2025 was quite the year, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I am not particularly sad to see this year end, but I am always excited to do this end of year wrap up and show y'all all of my projects. I actually made quite a lot of stuff this year, mostly small things, but you know, small things don't take very long to make. So I have a million small things to show y'all. Also a few big things, but mostly small. As always, I'm going to start with the projects I made at the beginning of the year and work my way through to the end of the year, and then we'll end with projects that I started in 2025 but have not finished yet. In the past, I've included things other than crochet and knitting projects, but since I have so many things to get through for this year, I've decided to limit this video to just crochet and knitting. And if you're new here, when I say knitting, I do mean hand knitting and machine knitting because I do love a knitting machine. Okay, since we have so much to get through, let's just get started. So the first thing I made this year is this celestial tank top. I totally freehanded this and it did end up too big for me. That's a little disappointing because I do think it's really cute. I have been meaning to alter it. I just need to take out these two back squares and put in like some ties or just like sew it together or something, and then it would fit and it would be beautiful and amazing. I was directly inspired by a picture I saw on Pinterest, and if I can find it, I will link it. This was not my idea. I just copied what I saw on Pinterest because I thought it was so cute and I just had to have one. And I think I did a good job recreating it, but it's a little too big. So maybe that's a project for 2026, is to alter this so that it fits me. So that was the only thing I made in January. We're already gonna move on to February, which I did actually make quite a lot in February. So every year I do this commission for my neighbor back in my hometown. And in 2025, she wanted me to make a bunch of hot pads and a bunny amigurumi. So I made 7 hot pads. Here's a picture. I will also link the pattern. Great pattern, very cute hot pads. And then I made the bunny amigurumi and I just freehanded that and it's so cute. I love it so much. The yellow is just, that's adorable. I think it turned out really cute and I'm very proud of freehanding that and having it turn out so good. Also in February, I freehanded a Paddington amigurumi for my friend's birthday. I made his little jacket and his little hat and his face and all of him, and he's so cute, and I can't believe it that I made this little Paddington. I want to make another so that I can have my own Paddington amigurumi, but like I'm terrified that I'm not going to do as good of a job because I didn't really write down anything that I did. I just freehanded it, so I don't know if it would turn out as cute, and oh my god, that's just the best thing ever. Okay, moving on before I get way too excited about Paddington. Now we're in March, and the first thing I made in March is this kind of striped boucle raglan sweater, crochet sweater. What even was going on with this sweater? I think I had a couple skeins of yarn that I didn't really know what to do with. I didn't know what to pair them with, so I paired them together. I thought that the two colors were gonna look really ugly together, but sometimes you just gotta trust the process, and I did. And this is actually one of my favorite sweaters I've ever made. I think it's really cute and I wear it all the time. I need to kind of clean it up. It's getting a little bit of pilling on the bottom because I wear it a lot. The next thing I made in March is this checkerboard tank top that I made on my Sentro knitting machine. So I have a video tutorial for this on my channel, and I also have a PDF pattern on my Etsy shop and my Ko-Fi page. So check that out if you're interested. I think this top is very cute. It's like fairly simple to make, but still it's a good project to kind of push yourself on the Sentro if you're just sick and tired of making plain panels and tubes. I think that this is a very cool top because it just shows all of the versatility of circular knitting machines. Now moving into April, the first project I have is this filet crochet tapestry of a beetle. I framed it because I love it so much. I think this is my first or second attempt at filet crochet. I can't remember. A beginning project of filet crochet at the very least, and I think it turned out really good. I drew up the design myself. I was kind of inspired by the 1920s and then also obviously this beetle. I think it kind of looks like the 1920s. I have the chart and some kind of brief instructions for how to make this for free on my Ko-Fi page if you'd like to make this as well. Filet crochet seems like it's complicated and then you get into it and it's really not. This was not that hard to make, even with this being my like first or second project. So would definitely recommend giving it a try. I have plans to do more filet crochet in the future. I think this type of project is just right up my alley and I really love it. The next thing I made in April was this yo-yo bandana. This was my first successful version of this bandana. A year or two ago, I had tried to make another version that was terrible. So this was my first version that actually worked out. I have another one of these that I'll show y'all later. That's the one I made for the tutorial and the pattern for this bandana. So check that out if you're interested. It's really easy and quick to make, and it's just such a great statement piece. Now for the only project that I made in May, I have another filet crochet tapestry, this time of a lily of the valley. I made this for my mom for Mother's Day because she loves lily of the valley flowers, and I think it turned out so cute. Again, I feel like filet crochet is just, it's very simple and you get this kind of complicated looking project even though it's not very complicated to make. The border I did, I guess, is like a little more complicated, but the actual image itself is not, it's not hard to make, in my opinion, at least. Now for the first project I made in June, we have this yellow beanie that I made for Jared. I received a free knitting kit from Unraveled to make this beanie, so just wanna put that disclaimer out there, but I did really love the kit and I think the finished product is really beautiful. The yarn is really soft and nice and it goes very perfectly with all of Jared's clothes. I think he looks very fashionable when he's wearing this hat and I'm kind of jealous. I do have a matching thing that I made with the leftover yarn from this kit for myself so that Jared and I could be matching, but it's not a beanie and the beanie is the best. Then for the next thing I made in June, we have that other yo-yo bandana that I was talking about. So this is the one that's featured in the tutorial and the pattern, I believe. And yeah, I mean, same as what I was saying before. It's really easy to make and quick. It's a great statement piece. I'm happy to have a second one in another colorway so I can always match it to what I'm wearing. I think the pink one goes better with my outfit today, but this one still matches, but I do have a lot of green, so I think I wear this one maybe a little bit more. Now we're into July, and here is that matching thing that I made so that I could have something matching Jared's beanie. I made this with the leftover yarn from that kit, and I freehanded this, which is pretty cool because I am still a beginner hand knitter, and I think I did a good job hand knitting this with no pattern. So yay for me. I love the beanie way more, but you know, it is fun for Jared and I to match. I think that's cute. The next thing I made in July is very small and simple. Like I said, I have a lot of small things to show y'all. Sorry if that's kind of boring. I hope it's not boring. So, little thing, cute scrap scrunchie. I just have a lot of scrap yarn, lots of little teeny amounts of scrap yarn, and I always see these all over Pinterest, and I really wanted to make one, and it turned out great. I think it's really cute. And I use scrunchies a lot, so it's practical for me. Yeah. This is kind of wrinkled because it was folded up in my drawer, and I haven't really worn it since it was warm outside, but this is the last thing I made in July. I made this tulip tank top on my Sentro. I think that this is really cute. I did this really cool thing with the neckline. I did these kind of like scallop thingies. They look like tulip petals. That was my thought process. I also have them on the bottom. Very cute. And then I have the duplicate stitching of the tulips all around the tank top, you know? I went to the Netherlands earlier this year and became obsessed with tulips, so that's where the inspiration for this came from. This is another project that I think just shows the versatility of the Sentro knitting machine and how many cool things you can do if you just get a little creative. August is the month for lots of little things, so I have a lot to show for myself for August, but nothing like huge or substantial. Not that they're bad, but they're just little, you know? So the first thing I made was this flower scrunchie for my friend's birthday. I made this one and then I loved it so much that for the rest of the year, I kept making more flower scrunchies. So I think it just makes the most sense to show y'all all of the flower scrunchies I made right now, like as a group, instead of breaking them up like by month. So I made this one for my friend, and then I decided that it was so cute and so simple that I wanted to make a tutorial and a pattern for these scrunchies. So I made 3 more for the tutorial and the pattern. 2 of them I sold, and then this one I kept because I wore this one at my wedding, which was in September. So I have to keep it. Also, it was just my favorite one I made. I like the color combination of this one a lot. So I still have this one. 1 I gave to my friend, 2 I sold, and then I made 4 more. So these 2 are the same, and then I have these. So I'm thinking of selling them or giving them away or something. They turned into a project that I enjoyed doing just when I had just small amounts of free time. Like if I just needed to take a break from work and I wanted to make something, these were just like the perfect things to make. So that's why I have so many of them. They're just fun. Sometimes you make stuff without a plan and just because it's fun to make stuff. So that's what these turned into. Next up, I'm gonna do a similar thing where I have something to show y'all that I made in August, but then I made a million more of that same thing later in the year, but we're just gonna talk about them all right now. So I made a crochet flower bookmark. Very cute. I'll also put a picture up because I don't want to take this bookmark out of my book because then I'll lose my place. So sorry, but I'll put a picture up. And then later I made 6 more. I think 5 more of the flower ones. And then I made 2 of this like just leaf version, which it's the same thing as the flower version. You just don't do the flower part. So I made 8 bookmarks in total this year. I made a bunch of them as gifts for people because I think they make perfect gifts. I do have a free video tutorial on my channel for how to make those bookmarks if you would like to make them for yourself or as a gift for someone. Highly recommend. Next up in August, I made 4 crochet koozies. I will link the pattern for these. I think it's a free pattern. I just used scrap yarn and they turned out really cute. I wanted to make koozies because we were gonna have like a party to celebrate our wedding here and we didn't have enough koozies. And I just thought, how cute would it be if people were carrying around some koozies that I made, and then we get to keep them. The next thing that I made was a crochet headphone cover for Jared's headphones. They are just over there on his desk, but I don't know how to unhook them, and so I'm just gonna leave it because I don't want to break anything. So I'm gonna show you a picture instead. So I made this for Jared as like a wedding present. His headphones were like the material on the band was just like crusty and like falling off, and so this was his idea actually, to crochet a cover around that part of the headphones so that they last longer. It was really easy to make. I let him pick what yarn he wanted me to use from my kind of scrap yarn stash, and then as you can see there's like this little leaf thing around his headphones too, which I also made I think for 2024 Christmas. So all his little headphone decorations are from me. The next thing I have to show y'all is very teeny tiny, but it means a lot to me because I made this little flower for Jared to put on one of his buttons on his shirt for our ceremony for when we got married. So yeah, really small and simple, but you know, it means a lot. So it's actually been sitting on our Christmas tree because I thought it made a nice Christmas tree decoration. Because like, he's not gonna wear this on his shirt all the time. So I think now it's gonna be a Christmas decoration and a nice memory from our little ceremony. So I was wearing my flower scrunchie, Jared was wearing that little flower thing on his button, and I wanted to make Daphne a flower thing too because we're a little family and we all had to match. So I made her this little flower collar thing that she wore during the ceremony and for our little party afterwards. It's adorable. It's very simple. I just kind of threw it together, but again, I just used scrap yarn and it was quick, and we were stressed getting everything, you know, figured out and done in time, and so I didn't want to take too long on this, but I think it turned out really cute. And she got a lot of compliments on it because she looked so cute in it. So for September, the first thing I made is this crochet bucket hat. This is the first of many that I will show y'all, but I'm going to show y'all the rest of them later because I made a whole bunch of them at one time later in the year. Long story short, this is like the first version that I made for the pattern and tutorial I have for this hat. I have this hat in a lot of different colors. It's just like my favorite hat to wear when it's cold outside. You can like flip the brim up so you look kind of like Blossom, or someone said that this kind of looks like Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries, this hat does. So yes, I love it. I think it's the most perfect winter hat there is, and we'll talk about more of them later. Next up, I made this very strappy tank top. It's kind of like backless. So the story with this is I had one skein of yarn that I didn't know what to do with, and I decided to turn it into a tank top. I obviously didn't have very much yarn to work with, so that's why it's backless, and then I just used some scrap yarn for all the straps in the border. And this was my first attempt at doing cup shaping. I had never done cup shaping before, and I, for some reason, decided I'll freehand it. I will look up nothing about how to do cup shaping, and I'll just figure it out. And I gotta say, I did a good job, all things considered. It does kind of have some cup shaping. I finished it in September, so it was getting like a little bit late in the year for me to wear this top that is definitely best for like very warm weather. We will see how much I wear it when it gets warmer this year. I hope I wear it because I do think I did a good job, and it is really cute actually. The next thing that I made was a crochet ivy garland that I have strung through like the rungs on our bed frame. So I have it still, but I really don't want to unstring it from our bed frame to show y'all. So here's a picture because I'm just trying to save myself some sanity. It turned out really cute. I just kind of freehanded that. I really like how it looks on our bed frame, and I was able to use up some yarn that I'd had for, I mean, it's probably pushing a decade since I've had that yarn. It was really weird yarn. It was super rough and like not very strong. It was really easy to break. So it wasn't really good to use for anything to wear, but I think it's perfect for a decoration that doesn't really get moved around a whole lot. Okay, now it's time for the biggest project I made this year. I made an Eternal Seasons cardigan. This took me, I don't know, like 8 months to make or something crazy. It's big, you know? It was just so much work. It was kind of crazy, and I went through so much yarn. But now I have it. It's done. I love it. So I'm very happy. So half of the yarn I used, I actually got in a trade So I didn't even have to buy the yarn, which was awesome because it was very fancy. I don't usually use such fancy yarn, but it was quite fancy. It was Rowan Felted Tweed DK or something like that. So I used that yarn and then I held it together with Drops Kid Silk Mohair, I believe. So I used both of them at the same time. And so it has this like super fuzzy, maybe you can tell, fuzzy cloud-like look. And I love it. And it is very soft and very warm, which is so nice because it is freezing here all the time. Did I say that was in October? If I didn't, that was in October. And then the next thing that I made in October is this little funny candy corn bandana that has like the weirdest shape because it's meant to fit around my dog's like round body. So yeah, it's kind of hard to show you, but it's a little candy corn bandana. This was Daphne's Halloween costume for this year. I was just trying to come up with something that I could make really quick for her because I thought it'd be cute if she had a little Halloween costume, but she doesn't really like to wear clothes. So I went with a bandana because I didn't think it would bother her too much. And she looked so cute. She looked like a little candy corn. And it is covered in dog hair. Ew. Then all of November is filled with just bucket hats. So we can start with this adult size bucket hat. This is really great yarn. It's like the best yarn to use for this bucket hat in my opinion. It's Friday Harbor yarn from Cascade Yarns. I think I've got that right. And then I have 3 child size bucket hats. One I made to just like write the pattern down. One I made for the written pattern pictures. And then this one I made for the video tutorial. So I have a lot of these hats. I don't have a child that can wear these, so not sure what I'm gonna do with them. But we'll see. I'll keep them for now because I made them and they're nice to have for a little bit. So now we're into December. I've already talked about the bookmarks I made. I've talked about some of the flower scrunchies that I made. So next up is the chair pads. Okay, chair pads. I didn't finish those in December. I finished those in November. My list is wrong. Okay, so we're in November. I rushed to make these chair pads in time for Thanksgiving and I did it. And they're great. And I have been loving having them, especially since we've had visitors and we've been having like lots of long meals at our dining room table because it's the holiday season. So we're just kind of hanging out there more. And it is so nice to have even just like the smallest amount of cushioning on our wooden chairs. Because those things to me get very uncomfortable. But now with the chair pads, I think that it's very nice to sit there for a long time. I was going for kind of a scrappy look on these chair pads, and I think that they really turned out, like they look scrappy even though it was very intentional. I feel like sometimes that can be difficult to pull off where you want it to look like not a lot of thought was put into it, but then a lot of thought was put into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that worked. They look scrappy, but I was very analytical about it. And then for the last things I made this year, I don't really know how to show y'all all of these. I made a bunch of ornaments. I crocheted a bunch and I made a bunch on my sentro. I have pictures of the sentro ornaments, but I don't have pictures of each individual crochet ornament, and they're all hanging on my tree right now. So future Quinn is gonna figure out how to show y'all all of these ornaments, but present Quinn is just gonna talk about them. So we got our first ever Christmas tree this year. Obviously I had one when I was a kid. Jared had one when he was a kid, but like we haven't had one since we've been adults and like living on our own. Mostly because we didn't have space for one in our previous apartments, but now we have space for one. And so I was like, we're getting a Christmas tree. And I thought it would be so cute to make like all of our ornaments. So I spent a long time crocheting a bunch of ornaments and then knitting a bunch of ornaments on the sentro. And then funnily enough, my mom was just visiting us and she brought us a box of Christmas ornaments that she had bought mostly back in the 80s, but she didn't really use anymore. So now it's like a mix of these ornaments from the 80s and then all these like handmade ornaments that I made, and it's the cutest. So yeah, that was very fun. That was a fun thing to end the year on. All of these like teeny little projects that I could finish quickly, and then now I get to stare at, and they're gonna be something I use like every year. I think that that's so much fun. All right, I'm rushing against the light because it's all rainy and it's like 3:30, so the sun's gonna set in like an hour. So I'll go through the rest of these pretty quickly. So now we can move on to the projects that I started in 2025 but haven't finished yet. First up, I have this crochet tapestry that I'm making as a gift for someone. I don't really want to say what it is because if they see this and I say what it's gonna be of, I feel like they would maybe know that it's for them. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little secretive about this one. But this is what I have done so far. I think it's like a third of the way done. I haven't worked on it in a little while because I've just been busy doing other things, but I would really like to finish this because this gift is very late. Next up, I have this partially finished sock. The pattern is called Petal Drop Socks by Florence Miller. This is my first ever hand knit sock. This is the first in the pair. I had a goal for 2025 to knit my first pair of socks, and I obviously didn't finish that. Hand knitting just takes forever, and I just got busy with other things, so I didn't do that goal, but that's okay. I still got pretty far, and it's looking great. I think it looks really, really good. I'm very proud of it. It's very fun to make. This is a fun pattern. I do think this sock is going to be too small for me, but I want to keep making it. I want to see it through. If it's too small, then I'll make a pair. Hopefully it's the same size, and then find someone to give it to that this sock will fit, but maybe it will fit me, and that'd be great. So I guess I'm gonna move that goal. So now I'll just try to finish my first pair of hand knit socks by the end of 2026. I should be able to do that. Next up, I have this super cool panel that I've started for a crochet cardigan. I am making matching cardigans for me and my friend. This is all I have to show for it. This is like the start of the back panel. I was like really into crocheting this for a while, but then I just got so busy with other projects and it fell to the wayside. I want to pick it back up again. I love this pattern. I am trying to write everything down, so maybe I will have a pattern to share with y'all in the future. But yeah, this is what I have so far. And this yarn is like the coolest, like brat summer. I know that's not really in anymore, but it's that color, like very bright neon lime green, and it's amazing. And then the final project that I have to share with y'all is my 2025 mood scarf. I just finished crocheting the very last row yesterday, the first day of 2026. I loved making this. It's not done yet. I still have to weave in all the ends, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of fringe at the bottom of either side. So I still have quite a lot of work to do because look at all those ends. Yeah. This was such a fun project to make. I really enjoyed tracking my mood every day of the year. I really want to do another similar project for this year. I think I'm gonna track my levels of fatigue every day because this was very illuminating to make. I had a lot of days where I felt super tired. So clearly that's something that I need to pay attention to for this next year. I think that this is just such a fun record to have, and I think that I'll want to continue doing something like this like every year from now on, as long as I can think of things to track and new projects to make, because I don't need so many scarves. I still don't know what project I'm gonna make for this next year. I just know what I want to track. So I'm thinking maybe like a dress or like a sweater, but it'd be long. I don't know. I gotta think about it. I have time. You know, as long as I know what I want to track, then that's okay. I'll keep track of my levels of fatigue and just keep thinking of what kind of project I want to use to track those things physically. So that's all I have for y'all. Thanks for coming along with me while I reminisced about all my projects from 2025. Let me know what your favorite project that you made in 2025 was down in the comments below. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to give it a like and consider subscribing for more fiber arts videos. I want to give a quick shout out to my channel members. Thank y'all so much for your support this past year. It really means the world to me, and I just can't thank y'all enough. If you'd like to become a channel member and get access to exclusive perks, then you can click the join button down below or find the link in the description. I hope y'all had a great 2025, and I hope that 2026 is even better. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!